All right, you ready to nail that personal trainer interview? Like, really knock it out of park. We're going deep today on how to make that happen. And we've got some insider tips straight from the experts at Origin, the leading fitness education provider. So, yeah, consider this your secret weapon. And just a heads up, some of this advice might surprise you, like maybe ditching the gym clothes for your interview.
You know, it's interesting how many trainers, even experienced ones, they kind of trip up on the basics, you know? Like those pre-interview moments, so important.
Yeah, totally. We get so caught up prepping for the actual questions, we forget about like the bigger picture. So, what's Origin's take on that?
We call it mystery shopping, but I think of it more like,
Yeah.
like a recon mission. Before you even walk into the interview, you got to visit the gym.
Okay, so not just scope out the equipment. What else are we looking for?
Yeah, check out the facility, sure.
Yeah.
But the real goal is to gather intel, get a feel for the place.
Love it, like a fitness spy.
Exactly. Pay attention to the atmosphere, you know? Is it high energy? More chill? Watch how the trainers interact with clients. Are they all about pushing limits, or is it more focused on form and technique?
Right, like are we talking drill sergeant or like supportive coach?
Yeah, and the overall vibe, too. Does it scream hardcore athlete or welcoming community?
I never thought of it that way. It's about like understanding their style, their culture.
Absolutely. And this intel gathering, it needs to be practical, too. Like, find out how many other trainers work there. Gives you a sense of the competition and the company structure.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah. And definitely got to ask about the pay structure, salary, rent a space, some kind of hybrid. Because, well, let's be honest, that impacts your earning potential.
Makes sense. Got to know what you're potentially getting into. So we're taking notes on all this. What else should we be looking for?
Oh, this is important. Membership costs. Gives you any of the clientele, right?
Mhm.
And don't forget about the support system. Mentoring,
Mhm.
professional development. How do they help you get clients? These things can make or break your experience.
So basically, we're showing them we're serious, we've done our homework. It's not just another application.
You got it. Plus, all this info helps you tailor your answers in the interview. When they ask about your training philosophy, for example,
Yeah.
you can connect it back to what you observed.
Now, speaking of making a good impression, Origin has some interesting thoughts on the dress code. And honestly, at first I was like, really?
Mm.
But the more I think about it, the more it makes sense. They actually recommend not wearing workout clothes to the interview.
Yeah, it's funny how many trainers just default to that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, I'm ready to train. But
Right.
this is a job interview, not a training session.
Right. Got to be professional.
Exactly. You want to project professionalism, preparedness. It's like you wouldn't show up to a doctor's appointment in scrubs,
Yeah.
even though you know they're going to examine you.
Okay, good point.
Yeah.
So, what are we thinking? Business casual, suit and tie?
Depends on the vibe of the gym, right?
Yeah.
But a good rule of thumb is to dress one step above what you'd wear to train there. Crisp, well-fitting outfit shows you're serious about the opportunity.
Gotcha.
But here's the twist. Orgym recommends bringing your workout gear in a bag, just in case.
Oh, I like that. It's like saying, hey, I'm ready to showcase my skills if you need me to. But I also get the importance of this meeting.
Yeah, it's about adaptability, preparedness, qualities they look for in a trainer.
Absolutely. So walk into that interview room, firm handshake, confident smile, and oh yeah, those certifications. Gotta have those bad boys.
Those are like your superhero cape,
Yep.
instant credibility boost. And if you have any client testimonials, bring those too.
Ooh, yeah, social proof.
Exactly. It's proof you can get results, build relationships.
Love it. Okay, so we've got the certificates, testimonials, looking sharp. But there's one more thing, right? Origin's big on research.
The research is key. Shows them you're not just looking for any PT job.
Yeah.
You're genuinely interested in their gym.
So we've done our mystery shopping, got a feel for the place. What's next in this research deep dive?
Dive into their online presence, website, mission statement, their history, awards. Check out their social media. See what their brand is all about, what they're saying to their audience.
So basically, become a gym scholar before we even set foot in the interview.
Exactly. Imagine casually mentioning their recent achievement, from their website, or
Mhm.
asking a question about their training philosophy. That level of preparedness, it really stands out.
It shows we're invested, not just there for ourselves.
Exactly. You're thinking like part of the team already.
Okay, so pre-interview prep is locked and loaded. Now let's talk about those interview questions.
This is where it gets really interesting. Origin breaks down those common questions, the ones that even experienced trainers sometimes trip up on.
And I love that they explain the why behind the questions. Helps you understand what the interviewer is really looking for. So what's the first curveball they prepare us for?
Get ready for this. What do you like doing outside of work?
Hmm.
Seems pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah, not exactly what I'd expect in a fitness-focused interview.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the point. They're not necessarily looking for a list of hobbies. They're trying to assess your personality, your depth. Can you connect with people on different levels? Do you have interests that might overlap with potential clients? Personal training, it's all about building relationships.
So it's not just bragging about our rock climbing skills. It's about showing we're, well-rounded individuals, people they can connect with.
Yeah, exactly. Share something that reveals your passion, your individuality.
Yeah.
Could be playing music, volunteering, anything, as long as you convey that genuine enthusiasm.
Right, it makes you more relatable. Okay, now let's talk about experience. This can be tricky, especially for those just starting out. Those experience-related questions can be intimidating. What does Origin suggest?
Origin has a brilliant strategy for this. It's all about transferable skills.
Okay, transferable skills. I'm listening.
So let's say you worked as a personal assistant before getting into fitness.
Yeah.
Might not seem directly related,
Sure.
right? But think about the skills involved.
Yes.
Time management, organization, clear communication.
Ah, I see where you're going with this.
Those are all crucial for personal training, too.
So instead of thinking, I've never trained clients before, we should be thinking, how has my past experience prepared me for this?
Exactly. You're adaptable, a quick learner. You already have many of the qualities they're looking for.
Love that. What other transferable skills do they recommend highlighting?
Well, think about what's essential in personal training. Initiative. Maybe some marketing or sales experience. Being reliable. Giving and receiving feedback effectively. Performing under pressure. And don't forget, being able to work independently and as part of a team.
Wow, that's a lot to think about. And you know what? It's not just about what we know about fitness. It's about how our past experiences have made us who we are. Ready to take on this challenge? I bet our listeners are already feeling more confident about those experience questions. But before we jump into more interview prep, maybe we should take a quick break, catch our breath.
You know, that's a really good point. You just hit on something. Personal training, it's not just about knowing the exercises. It's a business, too.
Yeah, for sure. And I bet interviewers want to know we get that.
Absolutely. In
Yeah.
fact, Origin actually highlights this one question about growing your client base.
Makes sense. They want to know you're not just passionate about fitness, but also, thinking like an entrepreneur, a marketer.
Exactly. It's about understanding the reality of the industry.
Okay, so how do we impress them with our client getting skills? Should we walk in with a full-blown marketing plan?
Well, a solid strategy is never a bad thing, but Origin suggests something even more powerful. A willingness to learn, to adapt.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, mention you're eager to take sales and marketing courses, workshops even. Shows you're committed to continuous improvement.
I like that. It's humble, but also ambitious. Okay, but I'm curious about the actual strategies. What are some concrete things Origin recommends for attracting clients?
They've got a bunch of great ideas, some pretty innovative. For example, a lot of gyms have systems for welcoming new members. Sales teams, new joiner lists, tap into those.
Oh, right. It's about collaboration, working with what's already there.
Exactly. Another idea. Think about showcasing your expertise, right? Maybe host a free seminar on nutrition or a workshop on, I don't know, perfecting the squat.
Okay, I see those flyers already. Secrets to six-pack abs, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. It establishes you as an authority, give potential clients a taste of your style.
But what if public speaking isn't really your thing?
No worries, there are plenty of other options. Origin emphasizes just being present during peak hours.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
Don't hide in the corner, walk around, introduce yourself, offer helpful tips, spot people if they need it.
Right. It's about building rapport.
Exactly. And of course, social media. Got to leverage that.
Oh, yeah. That's a big one these days.
Build a strong online presence, share client success stories with their permission, of course. Run some targeted ads.
Makes sense. What about the more, old school marketing tactics?
Those can still be effective. Eye-catching posters strategically placed around the gym. Maybe offer a free consultation or discount on a training package.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
Origin also suggests thinking outside the box. Partner with local businesses. Cross-promotion.
Oh, that's smart. Like a healthy meal prep company or a sports massage therapist.
Exactly. It's win-win.
All right. I'm feeling inspired to step up my marketing game. Seriously, those are some great ideas. But let's be real. No matter how much we prepare, there are always going to be those interview questions that make us sweat a little,
Yeah.
Ones that feel like mind games.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. But Origin tackles those head-on. They break down those classic brain twisters, give you strategies to stay cool and collected.
Give us some examples. Which ones are we most likely to face?
Okay, how about this? What are your career goals? That's where you need to balance ambition with realism.
Right, so maybe not, I'm going to be the CEO of this gym in 5 years.
Probably not the best approach,
hmm
unless there's a clear path for that. Instead, talk about goals that are achievable and, importantly, that align with the company's vision.
I see. So something like, I want to develop my skills to lead workshops
Mm.
or mentor new trainers.
Yeah, exactly. You're showing ambition, but within the context of their organization.
Okay, what's another one of those tough questions?
How about this? How would your former employer describe you? This one can be tricky, especially if your last job wasn't the best.
Yeah, I can see that going south quickly. How do we answer honestly without, bad-mouthing anyone?
Orjim's advice is to focus on concrete examples. Did you receive positive feedback on a specific project? Did you exceed expectations in a certain area? Share those stories.
So let your actions speak for themselves, even if your former boss wouldn't.
Exactly. Showcase your strengths, your achievements.
Yeah.
Focus on the positive and let your track record do the talking.
Good strategy. Okay, now for the question everyone dreads. What is your biggest weakness? Is there any way to answer this honestly without, self-sabotaging?
There is. Orjim's tip is to choose a weakness that can actually be framed as a strength, or at least an area you're actively working to improve.
I am intrigued. Give me an example.
Sure. You could say, I tend to be very detail-oriented, which sometimes means I spend extra time on tasks.
But then you spin it. However, I'm working on time management techniques
Yep.
to be more efficient without sacrificing quality.
Exactly. You acknowledge the weakness, but also highlight your self-awareness and your commitment to growth.
Love it. You're not perfect, but you're willing to learn. What other tough questions does Origin prepare us for?
They cover quite a few, but I think the ones about ongoing learning and client motivation are especially relevant to personal training. Like, interviewers often ask, how do you plan to stay up to date?
Yeah, the fitness industry is constantly changing.
Right, so you got to show you're committed to lifelong learning. Origin recommends mentioning specific strategies like CPD courses, attending conferences, workshops, subscribing to fitness journals.
Okay, makes sense. Shows you're serious about your craft. What about that question on client motivation? I feel like that's a big one that a lot of trainers struggle with.
It is, and the question, how would you motivate a client, can be pretty broad.
Yeah.
A lot of people just focus on in-session techniques, like cheering them on, giving high fives.
But motivation is so much deeper than that, right?
Exactly. Origin emphasizes a more holistic approach. They break it down to 3 stages: pre-session, during session, and post-session.
Okay, let's break those down. What about pre-session motivation?
Pre-session is all about setting the stage. Help clients define their goals, both long-term and for that specific session.
Makes sense. Got to have a clear target.
Right. And make sure those goals are SMART: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
Oh, yeah. Love that acronym.
It works. Another pre-session tactic, share success stories from other clients. It shows what's possible, gets them excited.
Of course, always with permission.
Of course. Yeah. You can also use that pre-session time to review progress, celebrate milestones, get them in a positive mindset.
So build momentum before you even start sweating. I like it. What about during the session?
During the session, your attitude is everything. Be positive, encouraging, your energy is contagious.
Yeah, if the trainer's not pumped, how can the client be?
Exactly. Origin also stresses the importance of variety in the workouts. Keep it challenging, keep it interesting.
Yeah, nobody wants to do the same routine day after day.
And involve your client in the planning. Ask
Uh-huh.
about their preferences, what they enjoy, what challenges them.
Right, so it feels more like a partnership.
Exactly. And don't forget feedback. Constructive criticism, modifications for exercises, but always celebrate their effort, no matter how small.
Acknowledge their hard work. Every step counts. Okay, so we've got pre-session and during session covered. What about keeping clients motivated after the workout's over?
Origin is big on personal training software for this stage. Those tools that help you track progress, provide feedback, design custom plans. It's like having a virtual coach.
Extends that support system beyond the gym.
Exactly. And of course, always celebrate wins. Big or small, acknowledge their effort, their consistency.
Love that. Remind them why they started this journey in the first place. Okay, this holistic approach to motivation is really impressive. It's about so much more than just, yelling encouragement during a set.
It really is.
Okay.
Now, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, there's one more question that stands out. It's about being a team player. Remember, the fitness industry is all about collaboration.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So when they ask, what makes you a good team player? Think about specific examples. Did you help a colleague? Contribute to a group project? Were you recognized for your teamwork skills?
Again, it's about showing, not just telling.
You got it. Prove it with real-life examples.
It shows that you're not just there to build your own business. You want to contribute to the success of the whole team.
Exactly.
This has been incredibly insightful. We've covered a ton of questions and strategies. Is there anything else from Origin that we should touch on?
You know what? They bring up a really interesting point about staying aware of industry trends, keeping up with what's new.
Oh, good one.
Interviewers might ask something like, what are some of the latest fitness trends that you find interesting?
That's a good question. I can see some people freezing up on that one.
Yeah, they might panic, thinking they need to rattle off every new fad.
So what's the key here? Just knowing what's trendy.
Not really. It's more about showing your curiosity, that you're engaged with how the industry is evolving.
Makes sense. So how do we approach this question without sounding like we're chasing fads?
Do your research. Check out fitness websites, blogs, social media, talk to colleagues, attend workshops.
Sounds like fun.
It is.
So what are some trends that are making waves right now?
Well, boutique fitness studios are huge. Those specialized workouts like bar, CrossFit, spin.
Right. Yeah.
Wearable technology is getting more and more advanced. And there's a big emphasis on personalized nutrition plans these days.
Yeah, I'm seeing that everywhere. It's like moving away from one size fits all and towards a more holistic approach.
Exactly. And interviewers want to see that you're aware of these trends, that you can think critically about their pros and cons.
So it's not about blindly endorsing everything new, right? It's about showing that you're thinking for yourself.
Exactly. Choose a trend or two that genuinely interests you, whether you personally embrace it or not. Then explain why it's interesting. What are the potential benefits, the drawbacks? Is there any research to back it up?
It's about showing that you're not just following the crowd.
You're evaluating new ideas based on evidence.
And your own professional judgment.
Right. And even if you're skeptical of a trend, you can still acknowledge its popularity. Explain why it might appeal to some people.
It's about being open-minded.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, besides showing your knowledge of trends, there's another crucial part of nailing that interview. Asking good questions at the end.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Turn the tables, show we're engaged, curious.
You got it. This is your chance to gather information, make a lasting impression.
Okay, hit me with some good questions. What makes a good impression?
Origin has some great suggestions. Start by asking about the day-to-day responsibilities. Shows you're genuinely interested in the practical aspects of the job.
Right.
Another good one is, what could I do to impress you in the first 3 months?
Ooh, I love that one.
It's proactive, ambitious.
Shows you're ready to hit the ground running.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to ask about career progression.
Makes sense.
Shows you're thinking long-term. You can also ask about the working culture.
Oh, yeah, important.
Get a sense of the team dynamics, the support system, the overall vibe.
It's about finding the right fit.
Exactly. And don't be shy about asking the tough questions. Work-life balance, professional development opportunities, the gym's philosophy.
Yeah, we deserve to be in an environment that aligns with our values.
Absolutely.
Okay, I am feeling incredibly empowered and ready to take on this interview. Huge thanks to Orgem for these amazing insights.
They're a great resource.
And to you, our listener, best of luck. You got this.
You absolutely do. Remember, stay curious, stay passionate, and never stop learning.
Couldn't have said it better myself. That wraps up part 2 of our deep dive. But we've got more coming up in part 3, so stay tuned. All right, welcome back to the deep dive. We've been getting so much great advice from Orgem on how to ace that personal trainer interview. I feel like we've covered so much ground already, but are there any final curveballs they throw our way?
There are. Origin emphasizes being ready for those unexpected questions, the ones that don't seem directly related to fitness.
Oh, I know those.
Yeah, they can be tricky, but they actually reveal a lot about you as a person.
Okay, like what? Give me an example.
Well, one they mention is, what are you reading right now?
Huh. Interesting. I can see how some people would, like, blank on that one.
Yeah, if you're not an avid reader, it could throw you off.
So what's the best approach? Should we all brush up on Shakespeare or something?
No, no, not at all. It's not about showing off your literary knowledge. It's about demonstrating intellectual curiosity,
Mm-hmm.
a willingness to learn and grow outside of the gym.
There could be anything. A biography, a self-help book, even a sci-fi novel.
Exactly. It's more about showing you're well-rounded,
Yeah.
that you have interest beyond just fitness.
Right, right. And it gives you a chance to let your personality shine through.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about pre-interview prep, nailing those tough questions and asking insightful questions of our own. I'm feeling pretty confident, like we've got a solid game plan.
We do. But before we wrap up our deep dive into landing that dream job, it's important to remember that an interview is a two-way street.
Oh, yeah, good point. We've been so focused on impressing them. But it's also about us deciding if the gym is a good fit for us.
Exactly. It's about finding the right match.
So what should we be paying attention to?
Pay attention to the interviewer's energy, the questions they ask,
Mm.
how they talk about the gym's culture.
Right, get a feel for the vibe.
Trust your gut.
Okay, will do.
Anything else?
Yeah, don't be afraid to ask those tough questions
Yeah.
about work-life balance, professional development, the gym's overall philosophy. It's about finding a place where we can not only grow professionally, but, where we feel valued and supported.
Absolutely.
Okay, wow, I'm feeling incredibly empowered and ready to take on this interview. Huge thanks to Origin for sharing their incredible insights with us.
You're a great resource.
And to our listener, best of luck in your interview. You've got this.
You absolutely do. Remember, stay curious, stay passionate, and never stop learning. The fitness world is waiting for you.
That's a wrap on our deep dive into acing that personal trainer interview. We hope you feel prepared, confident, and ready to land your dream job. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep crushing those fitness goals.